Sup everyone, I'm your female otaku, and I'm here to discuss why Promare matters. Just about a year ago, Promare was screening at multiple anime conventions until it eventually started screening nationwide. Promare is animated by Studio Trigger, and we all know that that means it's gonna be chaotic and fun as all heck. You have the Mad Burnish, a terrorist group according to the humans, who are Burnish, people that can manipulate flames. Their leader is Leo Fotea, and after an epic, and I mean epic battle between him and leader Gallo of the Burning Rescue, things get discovered, and they ain't pretty. It has everything you want in a Trigger animated work. Large, booming text on screen, your favorite himbo, and a fantastic soundtrack by Sawano Hiroyuki. Chef's kiss. The art and animation is also poppin'. Seriously, I wonder how you can storyboard something like this, because the camera work is just absolutely unreal. But like I said, Promare has been out for about a year now. I first saw it thanks to G-Kids over at Otakon 2019 at an exclusive press screening, and I was impressed with the film. But it was my second watch when I watched it with my friends is when I started to pick up on some things. I think the reason why Promare is still holding up to this day, and I'm not saying that's old by any means, I mean the fact that people are still talking about it. You may not constantly see cosplays and fan art and tweets about Promare like you did last year, but they are still around, similar to like Demon Slayer. People still love this film deeply, as if it just came out a month ago. And it shows, with multiple theater screenings, including a 4D screening, all sorts of box sets, including this oh so precious collector's edition, which we'll be getting into soon. But it's the fact that Promare has meaning to it. The sort of meaning that we can all understand and connect with. This is why Promare matters. Before we get to why Promare matters though, I do gotta mention that we are hosting another giveaway with G-Kids so that you can get yourself a limited collector's edition of Promare. What is included in this oh so limited collector's edition? Let me tell you, friend. You've got exclusive content, the full-on English script, a poster, you have the soundtrack, and you get stickers. Just oh my goodness. You see, this is a fat box for a reason, alright? You got the goods. In the description, you will see a giveaway link. You have from August 12th to August 24th to enter. All you gotta do is follow the instructions on the giveaway link, which is like follow G-Kids over at this social media and that social media, you know, share with your friends, all sorts of stuff. So just go crazy, because you really don't want to miss this, again, limited collector's edition of Promare. Okay, back to the purpose of this video. I think the most obvious topic that we can speak about when it comes to Promare is the discrimination. This isn't Trigger's first time when it comes to implementing real-world events, but it's never something too specific. It's just the right amount, whether it be feminism or something that resembles history like the Cold War. They also had implements that can relate to people's everyday lives, such as sharing each other's pain. With Promare, you pretty much get all of the above. Trigger has shown that they do pay attention to real life events. I think it's only natural that they ended up paying more attention to what goes on in not just America, but all throughout the world, because it's not like the discrimination that we see in Promare just happens in Promare. It doesn't just happen in America. It doesn't just happen in France. It happens everywhere. Notice how I say discrimination and not racism, because this is prejudice on any sort of degree. It's very generalized, and that's a good thing, because it can connect with someone throughout any part of the world. If someone's watching Promare right now, they might think, oh, they're obviously talking about recent events. But this film was made last year. Heck, it was released last year, but in production a year before that. It's because these are just general, ongoing issues that we can see and know happens. There's this one guy who's just working at a pizza parlor and unfortunately gets arrested for being born Burnish. It's absolutely heartbreaking, that scene, because you get to see that, yeah, that guy, while he certainly wasn't a terrorist like with the Mad Burnish group who has been making attacks on the people, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just living his life. And you get the reactions of people who see that, and the reactions of people who find him to be disgusting. It's a harsh but very familiar reaction. What's wild is when we focus on Promare's government and their governor, Cray. Cray saved Gallo when he was young, so Gallo owes everything to Cray. But Cray, of course, isn't really trustworthy. I mean, come on, you can never trust an anime character who always closes their eyes. I'm not gonna get into spoiler territory just yet, but when we get there, I will leave a warning. Gallo, while still not approving of the mad burnish, does see the discrimination and tries to do something about it, but instead he finds out something even worse. Okay, what do you know? We're gonna dive into some spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, click over to the following here, and see you in a sec. We find out that Cray is also a burnish himself, which is really sucky. The fact that this man is a burnish, but disguising himself to be a human, to rise to the patriarchy only to kill his fellow brethren, using them as a life force to power a ship that will only be able to take a certain amount of humans to another planet before the Earth explodes? Is a lot more realistic than you think. We've unfortunately heard the stories of criminals who turned out to be the very thing that they despise. These things happen, and it's incredibly unfortunate. It's like they hate who they are because they know who they really are will get discriminated by the many. And that's exactly what Cray is. But Gallo and Leo come together to screw over the patriarchy in the most trigger way possible. An epic battle between mechs mixed with flames, and they're literally just flying all over town, going every which way, the massive text on screen just all in your face, and it's just like, wow. I love this. Trigger just has this amazing balance between going from super serious, talking about real life events, to going absolutely balls to the walls, insane with hype as all heck fights. This is why Promare doesn't sound like it's being preachy. They don't beat you over the head with the fact that there's prejudice and discrimination going on in the film. No, they still remind you that, hey, we're Trigger, and we're here to show you a dang good time, and boy do they. The friendship that Leo and Gallo have is really cool. I love seeing people who are opposite ends, but are able to realize that they're more alike than the rest of the world sees them as. You know, it really gets you pumped up, seeing someone use their privilege to help those who are in need of help, or just seeing two people coming together, just kicking some major government butt is just the most hype thing ever. I just can't get over that. It is a completed film. There's not gonna be any sequel or anything like that. However, I do wish that we got more screen time with the rest of Burning Rescue. There are about like 4 members in Burning Rescue, and they get such a minimal amount of screen time. There is only one member who does get more screen time than the rest. And in fact, we'll discuss her now. This is Aina, and Aina has something to do with the thing I told you about earlier, how Trigger will also implement personal struggles, not just real world struggles. Aina has her own little storyline when it comes to her older sister Ellis. While Aina is a member of Burning Rescue, Ellis works for the government and is a super genius. She's there behind the scenes trying to figure out how they can help out humanity and take as many people as possible into space so, you know, no one dies. Ellis can't tell Aina everything, so according to Aina, Ellis is just this perfect superhuman while she's kind of just left in the dust wondering what the heck to do and if she's even doing it right. But on Ellis's perspective, Aina is at least going out and doing something, fighting back, while Ellis is here following orders to do something that she doesn't want to do or really believe in. She loves science, but she recognizes the cruelty of her work. I remember watching this with my friend, and she said that Aina stood out to her the most and was wondering why not too many people were really talking about Aina. Because Aina is that younger sister who is in the shadow of their older sibling. Now, I can't relate to this as I am the older sibling, but I can see myself a little bit in Ellis. There are some aspects that I see in my younger siblings, and I'm like, man, I wish I can do what you do. Now, will we ever admit it? No, because we're the oldest, but the feeling is still there. So in the end, why does Promare matter? Promare is merely informing you, just keeping you aware of what's still going on in the world. And the fact that all of us are able to pinpoint some sort of event or a disaster, whether it be current or 50 years ago means something. Promare isn't here to change anything. They're not here to change your views on something. They're not here to say, hey, this is what we gotta do to fix it. Promare is just simply letting you know, hey, this stuff still goes on in the world, but this is anime. And in anime, we're gonna kick its butt. And then the end, all wrapped up. And speaking of well wrapped and complete, again, make sure you click the giveaway link in the description so that you can win yourself the limited collector's edition of Promare. There's just too many goodies in here. You do not want to pass up. But if you want, you can also purchase it yourself if you don't really have faith in your luck. Link in the description too if you want to buy one. I want to give a very special thank you to G Kids for sending me this oh so awesome limited collector's edition box set of Promare, and for collabing with me once again. We do gotta give a very special shout out to Giovanni Herrera as well for donating to my Patreon. If you'd like a very special shout out in the next video, stream, or what have you, then please click on the Patreon link in the description to donate, as well as links to my social media. One last time, don't forget to click the link in the description to the giveaway or the purchase link so you can get one for yourself. I'm your female otaku. Sayonara.